Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Tellor Dev Call. Today is May 11th, 2026. We're finally done with the transition of the Tellor Legacy Rewards to Tellor or Tellor Layer. From now on, we're probably just going to call it Tellor, but Tellor V1, what we have on mainnet, will forever continue working. It doesn't have rewards anymore, so it definitely, if you want information or to stay on that system, you're going to have to tip to get information to incentivize people to continue to support it. We're going to continue to support our current users until they transition or upgrade. There are Liquidity V1, for example, it's still using, it still has activity and they're still using that version of Tellor, so we'll continue to support that. But if you're a new user, highly encourage you, use the new system. This is where the incentives and the security is going to be. And yeah, so now we're more focused on doing getting feedback from the community, making sure that we're going to start working on our upgrade, which will include some of that feedback and some cleanup. But for the most part, we're just more focused on tools for Tellor Layer and making sure that everybody that's transitioning feels comfortable with it and is able to monitor their system, and we're able to monitor the network as well. So that's what's coming up the next couple of weeks. We are gonna start working on an upgrade, and we'll give you more details as we go around what we're working on this week. And then next week, when we finalize exactly what's going into the next upgrade, we'll make sure to keep you guys up to date. But with that, let's get started on what we're up to this week. Spidey, you're already unmuted, so you go first.
Doing a lot of monitoring the situation, as always. I'll probably say that every week. There's new reporters coming in. I see that all of the reporters from old mainnet have requested withdrawal of their stake, and it was like everybody, which was surprising for me. I thought people would forget. I thought there would be a lot more reporters not paying attention, but everybody was on it. I mean, they're unstaking and they're coming to Layer, hopefully coming to Layer, and they have been having a lot of good questions. There's been questions about our sources for data, and that's what I'm going to focus on for the next couple days probably, is trying to make sure that we have a reporter daemon that people can use and not worry about getting disputed because there's not a lot of sources. It's tough sometimes, but we'll do the best we can.
Yeah, I mean, we want to make sure that we provide, robust information. It's good that people are bringing up these questions. We're going to focus on that, and as soon as we have some sort of resolution, we'll tell everybody. Caleb?
With some of the feedback and stuff that we saw last week, going to be looking into some ways that we could possibly improve or just make the process easier for switching a reporter, in case if you accidentally select a reporter that has too much power or the reporter stops reporting, you can switch without being penalized too much. And then on top of that, just keeping up, checking the indexer to make sure that the data is matching and things are tracking. So far, everything has looked good to go. So still really hopeful on that. And then other than that, I'll be responding to situations as they pop up, and as Spuddy says, monitoring the situation.
We do a lot of that, yeah.
Yeah, and it's a big part of the network. Ryan?
Yeah, so I did a lot of last week. I'm adding new features to the hub. I got to go back in and troubleshoot there's some issues that have been popping up, so I'm going to just minor UX tweaks. And then finishing up the pool oracle. So I need to update the blog post so the language fits the new robust optionality model that we added. And then once those are all finished, then I can get my hands dirty in the Explorer, and we can have that thing running this week.
I am reviewing the Pool Oracle code base, and then separately I'm working on better documenting and just exploring myself the filters that users use in their contracts for making sure that correct Oracle data is being relayed and there's as little ability for someone to manipulate values that they get. There's some nuances to that, and it also depends on the actual use case. So I wrote out a bunch of stuff on that last week, but I think we would do an ADR on that. Who knows, maybe something else as well. Maybe editing just the docs as well.
Yeah, the docs, the ADR, I mean, those are more technical docs. I think we should also do a blog post that sort of breaks it down for people, just so that when they're implementing us, they understand why those things happen and why we're filtering the information the way that we're filtering, so that their data is more robust and safer to use. Dan?
Working on an awesome website for profitability and historical rewards. And right now I'm working on getting the indexer hooked up to it so we don't spam the RPC.
Thanks, Dan. Yeah, with everybody joining the network or coming over from mainnet to layer, we wanted to make sure that the big strength of Tellor comes from its security, and that comes from people coming over and staking and participating by obviously on the consensus mechanism and on reporting information. And so for that, a lot of people, there's obviously cost associated for that, and when people come over, we want to make sure that they understand, what is at least I know there's a minimum amount of TRB that you have to potentially stake to be able to even break even. You are providing data, and that takes resources, so it's natural that you would get some rewards for it. But we're trying to do this tool, which looks really great. You don't even have to connect your wallet. You just have to know your address, and it gives you a bunch of very useful information. And then you can play around with the numbers to come up with what best suits you. But yeah, no, this is exciting because we need that security to transfer over to Tellor layer, and we are already very close to what we were at mainnet. And I imagine that within the next couple of weeks, as everybody's transitioning, we're gonna hit that and probably go even above what we had before, which is great, which is really, really great. It really helps. All of the security building obviously helps us bring in more people or users, and that it's all part of growing the entire network. All right, well, with that, we'll see you guys next week. We're super, super excited about this new phase that we're entering, and looking forward to all your feedback.